Hey everybody, it's just me again, Wayne, and I'm going to come right out and say it. God damn it! I thought I was done with this amplifier quest. But the other day, I just more or less randomly happened to wander into a guitar center and went, oh, hey look, a Fender Mustang GTX 100. Haven't played one of those. So I asked the fellow for a cable and a guitar and a strap, because I always play standing up. It's just a thing. And one of the first things that I found was a tone that is very, very much like the tone that I so dig on my PV Viper 75. Lots of bass, very scooped in the middle. I know not everybody likes that kind of tone, but it's my favorite, at least just for, playing in the dining room. So I went, and after doing some fiscal considerations and carefully checking their return policy, I got the thing and brought it home. So now I've got about 2 weeks to decide whether I'm going to stick with the Blackstar Silverline Deluxe or going to go with the Fender Mustang GTX 100. Because within 2 weeks, this thing's got to be in the mail on the way back to, huge amplifier warehouse place central, if I'm going to return it, if I decide I like the Fender better. So I guess what I'll do is running short on time, so I'm going to just have to cut right to the chase, right to the sounds that I like the most on the Blackstar and the sounds that I have found so far that I like the best on the Fender. But that's a bit of a trick, because this fucker comes with nearly 200 presets, and you can go into every one of them and edit to your heart's content. So what I've done is I've run through all 200, just checking how they sound at first glance. First hear, I guess. And the ones that I liked at all, at least for a heavy metal hard rock sound, I have done some tweaking to them if I felt they needed any. So those are the ones I'm going to check out on that. And as I said, I'll compare them to the tones I like on the Blackstar. So let's get going, shall we? Okay, guys. I have been trying to decide between these two amplifiers for over a week. And damn, I am having a time. I am stymied, nearly flummoxed, in fact. Because the amps sound fundamentally so different from each other, and yet they both can sound so good. I can get sounds I really like out of both of them, and both of them can also produce sounds that just really suck. And a worry I have is, right, I know that the Blackstar sounds big. It has a big feeling to it. It just seems to have depth, and it just, I don't know, it just has that aural feeling like a damned amplifier is supposed to have. Bunches of the presets on the Fender Mustang GTX 100 don't have that bigness. They sound like a cheap, dinky little practice amp. But, that having been said, some of the presets also sound awesome. So, what to do? I guess what I'll do now, because it's just so hard to decide how to compare these amplifiers, is I am going to, from scratch, create 8 tones on each one. I'm not going to use any of the presets that either amplifier came with. I'm not going to try to make the tones sound like each other on each amp, okay? Just tones that I really like, and tones that are sufficiently different from each other, right? Like 8 tones on the Blackstar, for example. 8 that are sufficiently different from each other that one can immediately tell when, a new tone has been brought up. And it's the same thing on the Fender. And then I'll listen back to those, and based upon the 8 tones from each, I will decide which of the amps sounds biggest, which seems to have that fullness of sound that I really like, and also just which one makes sounds that I like the better. And based upon that, I'm going to make the final decision. And I had to swear to my wife just a few minutes ago. Well, I didn't have to, but I did. I said, this is the last damned amplifier comparison I'm going to do for a long, long time. Because whichever of these amps I decide to go with, that's what I'm going with. And that's going to be the amplifier for the foreseeable future. So, okay, wish me luck. Let's get going. Alright, so after I dialed in those tones and I played them, as you heard, just the exact same little bits of chord and riffing on each one, I mixed them up. I made individual little video and sound snippets, and I listened to them randomly, in random order, not just walking down the street and suddenly randomly, hey, listen to this amp, and marked down the ones that I liked the best. Then I played them to my wife and had her tell me the ones she liked the best. And then I listened to them all in a row, like all the ones from the Blackstar and all the tones from the Fender. And the long and the short of it is that, quite to my surprise, I'm going to have to go with the Fender Mustang GTX 100. Now, I love how the Blackstar Silverline Deluxe sounds. I think it's got a great sound. But the Fender can sound just as great, and gives me an even much wider variety of tones than the Blackstar Silverline Deluxe does. So there are three reasons, basically, I suppose, then, that we're going to go with the Fender instead of the Blackstar. One, the variety of tones available on the Fender. They sound just as good, and there are more of them than on the Blackstar. Number two, the cost of the amplifier itself. I got the Blackstar for about $300 under the standard list price, which was quite a bargain, and it seems to go up and down in price. And the Fender will cost me at least $200 less than that. And the third reason is that the Fender comes with a foot switch, and it comes with tons of effects, more effects than I will ever need or use. Whereas the effects on the Blackstar are fairly limited. I mean, they sound all right, but they're fairly limited, and I have to spend an extra $100 to get a foot switch to do the things that I can do with the Fender, with the foot switch that it comes with. So tone, price, and more price, I suppose, is what it comes down to. Now, if you are thinking about getting a Blackstar Silverline Deluxe, if you have the bucks to spend on that amplifier, and if you don't mind buying extra pedals, an equalizer pedal, and things like that, great, do it. You will not regret it if you have the money to spend on it, because it's a great amplifier. I really like it. I wish I could keep them both, but fiscally, that's just not where my life is at right now. So I'm going to have to go with the Fender Mustang GTX 100. Now, I will tell you that creating the tones that I liked on the Fender was a bit of a task. Now, I won't say that I am over the learning curve. I'm certainly not. But I am, I think, near the top of it. And I'll probably do a separate video, in fact, about how to find your sound or sounds on the Fender, or how to make your sounds, the sounds that you want on the Fender Mustang GTX 100. So that is it, y'all. That is the end of the line for testing amplifiers for me for the foreseeable future. Thank you very much for watching. You guys are awesome, and I'll talk to you soon.